Can you at least point me to Atlantis? Arthur Curry. Also known as Protector of the Oceans, the Aquaman. I hear you can talk to fish.
Hi friends! We've seen Justice League, and by now, you probably have too, which means we can finally talk about...
Before we get into that, be sure to subscribe to Gamespot Universe for more on your favorite comic books, TV shows, and movies. Now let's get into whatever you were just going to talk about.
We're going to talk about it.
Right now.
Everything.
Right now. Overall, I feel like we both liked the movie. Yeah?
I came out pretty positive. Like it was not as good as Thor Ragnarok, but only just barely. We've seen the reviews. I know what the consensus seems to be, and I think you and I were both a little more positive on it than maybe some other people.
So what did you like?
I thought that all the heroes had like a good dynamic. I don't know, like that's the point of this like epic superhero team up thing is they all come together and it's fun to see them interact. And the nice thing about this is it proves that like, even if we haven't met half of these heroes already, it's still fun to see that.
The character interaction, the actor interaction, there was a lot of good dynamic. I really liked the interactions between Batman and Wonder Woman. Mm-hmm. I mean, there was a lot of romantic tension there.
There's a little bit of tension, but I feel like it's one-sided.
Oh, sure. That's still tension.
I feel like he maybe has a thing for her and she maybe is too good for him. She's technically older than him.
By a lot.
But not in spirit.
Yeah.
That's what counts.
He said the age of heroes would never come again.
It has to.
She's like such a youthful, energetic presence, which is part of why Gal Gadot is so good.
That's what happens when you get old and you work out. If you get old and you work out, you're gonna act exactly like that. What was your favorite funny
Oh my God, it was so funny. Oh, and we can talk about this because this is the spoiler video, but how about Aquaman sitting on that lasso?
That was so great. So the lasso of truth is the cheesiest, other than the invisible plane.
I must be dreaming.
No, you're not.
I must have died and gone to heaven.
When it's Jason Momoa and it's a rope that you just accept.
I mean,
truth.
when he starts talking in that scene, and he's like, well, we're all gonna die, and like, I don't even know why I signed up for this. You're super hot, and like, I don't know what you're doing. It's like, why is he saying all this? And then it goes on way too long. And like, I honestly, the first time I watched it, I was like, oh, this is like a weirdly awkward
It's just bad writing.
scene. Yeah, I thought it was just bad writing. I was like, this doesn't feel at all realistic for the character. And then he like, oh, Jesus. I fucking lost it.
Yeah, I like the Flash bouncing around the Batcave. He's so energetic. He's just
Well, yeah, he did it. He was awesome. I liked him.
Yeah, but also Flash has a lot of energy.
I'm putting together a team. People with special abilities. You see, I believe enemies are coming.
Stop right there. I'm in.
You are?
How about Martha Kent saying thirsty? Making that thirsty joke.
It was, I mean, topical. It was a little bit more.
It felt relevant.
More than you'd expect the writing in a
Right, especially because it was so early in the movie. It was another moment where I was like, I didn't fully trust it. I didn't trust the movie yet to like make that joke. And so I was like, she just said thirsty. Are they gonna acknowledge that? Or was that just like some out of touch, like using the kids slang kind of writing? And then it totally was deliberate.
There were several moments where you didn't trust the writing and you should have. And I mean, not you, I didn't trust the writing.
No, I
and
mean,
I
it's fair. It's a fair criticism of me. This is the review of me watching
Mike
movies.
does not trust writing at all. He just thinks it's bad until it proves to be good.
You know, I've been hurt before. I saw Suicide Squad.
We all did.
Never again.
We all saw it.
Well, looky here. Ooh, it's fire. Woo!
So Zack Snyder had that family tragedy, and Joss Whedon had to like step in and finish the movie. Did you feel like did you feel like you could feel that in the movie?
I mean, I feel like the moments that were funnier, you want to say this is Joss Whedon, but I you know, I don't know if anybody can actually tell which is which. I do feel like the levity of the film was way higher than it would have been if it was solely Zack Snyder.
I think it's like kind of a dangerous fallacy to be like, oh, that's funny, so that's definitely a Joss scene, and like this scene is very serious, and so it's definitely a Snyder scene. Like, I think it's fair to say that it feels like if they collaborated, it feels like a Snyder-Whedon collaboration, which is kind of the best of both worlds, which I think is one of the reasons why I like it. Like, I feel like those two tones worked together.
Sniden.
Yeah, Whedon. I can't wait for DC's Avengers.
So this movie got us further into the DC universe than I feel like any movie with just one hero or two heroes would do. I mean, we got to experience the backstories of, 3 new characters, and I feel like for the limited amount of time that we had, we went pretty deep, all the way under the ocean in the case of Aquaman.
Hell! Did you feel like it was rushed a little bit? Like, Marvel took so many years and so many movies to get to the Avengers as a team-up thing, and DC was like, no, we're just gonna do it because we don't want to always be 10 years behind Marvel forever. Did you think it worked?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that they wanted this to be a catch-up film. It didn't feel like they were rushing.
Right.
I feel like they, wanted to make the film that they made, even though it was supposed to be 2 films.
It's interesting because it kind of proved that you don't need to do all that setup. Everybody feels like Marvel sort of created the template and like set the formula for how you do it. And DC was just like, no, we're gonna basically do 2 movies and then go straight to Justice League, which is going forward, I guess we can just get straight to the thing.
Superhero backstories are for the most part pretty dumb anyway. So,
That's a fair generalization.
They really are pretty dumb. I've done a lot of comic book research into origin stories, and I mean,
there's a million different versions of like where the Flash came from. I don't give a shit. Like, just he goes fast. I like, you know what I mean? Like,
but what's funny is in this movie, they kind of didn't give a shit either. They were like, I call it the Speed Force, and it's just like Batman's like, whatever, bro.
Okay,
cool.
I mean, the one thing I would have liked to know about the Flash is why his suit is like wrapped in fishing line. I didn't really get like Batman makes a comment, he's like, oh, look at this suit, is like some carbon filament, silicon, like okay, that's like a bunch of arcane words that you put together. That's not an explanation of like, where did this kid who's like living in a warehouse get this incredible suit? I bet that was a deleted scene or something.
I mean, honestly, if you want to get really deep into super suits, like,
I do.
Have you ever tried to just sew anything? Have you ever tried to make anything that you wear?
I've never created, with these 2 hands, I've never created anything.
Me neither.
At all.
I mean, I've knit a couple of things. They came out.
Okay, so when you said me neither
garbage.
Just now, was that a lie?
They came out, I mean, I never completed it. Like, I tried to make a scarf. What I'm saying is you have to be a superhuman to even make an outfit like that.
Do you think he made it himself?
No.
He barely knows how to run. He trips like 4 different times in this movie.
I wonder about his athletic ability before all of that.
Right, he's a fucking nerd. He was probably a huge klutz, which is why he doesn't know how to like walk up steps.
Like he was one of those guys that played like the yard polo, He was like he didn't play it on like a horse. He just
I need friends.
Agreed.
So I loved how this expanded us in the DC universe, like a lot. Like our knowledge base became way bigger all of a sudden, because before you knew about Batman, you knew about Superman, you knew about Wonder Woman.
It felt a lot smaller, and now it's like we're like well into like 4th world stuff, like new gods, old gods, like all these
Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Urgun. It doesn't say Urgun.
Urgrund. Whatever. But it also introduced all these new characters, and like it laid a lot of groundwork for a Flash. If there's a Flash movie, he's got to like get his dad out of jail. Like all this stuff that could be revisited later. Like it feels like it expanded the DC universe in like really valuable ways.
What did you not like?
Steppenwolf.
Me neither.
God, he was boring.
Goodness.
Oh God.
He didn't look like a person. There was no connection to any kind of enemy, because he just was like another just CGI thing, and all of his little bad parademons were CGI things, and they were just floating around in uselessness.
They were just bullshit cannon fodder. Steppenwolf was literally just a plot device. I'm all for having a catalyst to get the Justice League together. That's the whole thing. But he could be a little more interesting than like, I'm gonna show up and destroy the world because that's what bad guys do.
The other thing that I didn't like was his like supervillain banter was just like awful. I mean, there's a couple of Easter eggs that he says, but I mean, other than that, you're just like, I don't even know what you're talking about, man. He's,
I mean, he really wants those mother boxes, and I feel like he wants to his mom. Like seriously, go like watch that movie again and like listen to some of this shit. Like, mother, I'm coming for you, mother.
You know what he reminded me of? He reminded me of Tim Curry as the devil in the movie Legend, talking to his mother.
I found my true mate, and you know it.
Never.
Beneath the skin, we are already one.
Wrap your dark arms around me. Protect me in your embrace.
Tell me about like comic book superhero movie villains that you liked. I liked Loki because he doesn't want to just destroy the world for no reason. I liked Michael Keaton in Spider-Man Homecoming because he wasn't even a villain, you know, for 3/4 of the movie. He has motivations that are more than just evil bullshit. Another thing about Steppenwolf that I hated was the CGI. He looked like a video game character, and not in a good way. And I think the CGI in this movie in general, I think it's something about, I had the same complaint about Thor Ragnarok, but it's something about like these fully CG environments. Like it has this unreal looking quality that works in some of the fight scenes, like when Superman or Aquaman are like flying through the air, like it looks cool. But I think that it's just getting a little stale, like the uncanny valley sets in at some point.
At some point, it set in immediately upon seeing his weird chinny chin. He was just like, I'm not a person.
That is, yes,
that was right
it set
then.
in at that point. Yeah, I agree.
Speaking about the CGI and weird uncanny valley stuff, so some people don't notice it. Mike didn't notice it, but Superman's mustache has been talked
lack
about.
Of mustache.
Lack of mustache is completely CGI. So it's like he's got this like weird patch of just doesn't make sense on his face, and his teeth look really weird. And it's like, I don't know how big his mustache is, but did they have to replace like all of his lower?
Okay, so when they had to do reshoots, and Henry Cavill was shooting another movie for which he needed a mustache, and so they said, fuck it, we'll digitally remove the mustache. And a lot of people has said that it's really noticeable. I'm certainly going to be looking extra hard at Henry Cavill's face the next time I watch it because it didn't bother me.
Bothered me so much. There's a couple of weird elements too, like the there's a Russian Chechnyan family.
Oh
some
yeah,
kinda,
a little family.
There's a little family like living near a nuclear power plant.
That has no cell service or something? They were like, it's like a blackout zone where there's no satellites can... What are you talking about? There's like a town there.
Some peasants living off the grid, apparently.
Like, in theory, I care about like this family of 4 surviving the parademon invasion, but like not proportionate to the amount of screen time they
had a lot of screen time, and it was only like they're only on there for 4 scenes, but like you find out that little Alexei plays with a radio too loud, and you're just like, oh my gosh, that their life sucks. And there's a shotgun on the wall, a little two-shot shotgun just displayed on the wall.
Yeah.
Like this
well,
is
it's in case the parademons invade. What did you think about Batman using Lois Lane to like get Superman to not be a mad guy anymore?
So I felt like it was too animal brain. Like it was too like, I know that Superman is a man because he's got that suffix man on there. But he was like, I don't know any of you. Like, just being a jerk. And then Lois Lane shows up and he's like, oh, Superman love Lois. And then they fly off, and then he's fine.
Well, let's talk about Superman as a whole. Like, what did you think about his resurrection? Did you feel like it was done well?
No, but
okay. Tell me more.
It had to be done. Like you're not going to get into all of the stuff that happened in the comic books after
Would
Superman
you want to?
dies.
There was a lot.
I mean, like his dad calling him the airman and looking like all that cool stuff can't happen. So you don't have any of the emotional context other than Superman's dead, and they got into that. They tried to get into that. They tried to make you feel that in the beginning of the film.
Well, that was one of my favorite things about it because like this world without hope, all that stuff felt like that montage at the beginning with like people hassling immigrants because Superman is like the connection there is tenuous. But it felt like a parallel to like where we are currently in a lot of ways.
Superman is Obama.
High five. That's you're so strong. You knocked me over.
What did you think about Superman's resurrection?
I thought it was fine. I mean, I thought the silly thing was that they were ever pretending that he wasn't going to come back. And I felt like we got a good picture of like what a world in which Superman is dead looks like. And so that when he came back, it felt monumental. I think that the way that they resurrected him was a little bit convenient. Like we happened to find like, we got a mother box, we got this like fast guy with the lightning, and we have Cyborg whose hands can magically hack anything.
That, I know we didn't talk about this, but the Cyborg being like Ex Machina, like he was just like, I don't really know how to control this technology, but I got it from here.
I don't know how to control this technology, but I can find Batman, I can trick Wonder Woman, I can hack the mother box, I can pull this thing apart, I can fucking resurrect Superman. Just anything that needed to get done that they couldn't figure out a different way to do. They're like, well, Cyborg will handle it.
Cyborg can handle that.
He can hack stuff.
Relax, Alfred. I'll take it from here.
Do I know you?
Can I interject real quick to ask you what you thought about like when Wonder Woman and the Flash and Batman are talking to Commissioner Gordon and they disappear, but somehow the Flash gets left behind? How much sense does that make? Because he's like the fast one. I don't know if you noticed that, like in the ensemble, he's the fast one.
Whenever a superhero disappears in a film, I always go, that's stupid. But if it was the Flash, I would go, that makes sense.
Right.
He's the only one that doesn't do it, and I think that that's like they're trying to get you with that joke. Like, haha. He's like, oh, it's real rude when people do that.
I mean, it was funny. It's funny because Ezra Miller is funny. I guess if Ezra like ran away really fast, like they would all get struck by lightning or something.
I don't know if that's how that works.
There's like electricity everywhere, so it would be like more noticeable.
How come when he ran and then touched the mother box, it generated electricity, but when he pushed Wonder Woman's sword into her hand, she didn't explode into flames from being electrocuted?
Because first of all, because Wonder Woman is Wonder Woman, and second, because he got a running start.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Mystery solved!
So in the comic that this storyline was based off of, the Justice League, Batman kills a parademon and they fight Superman. And the way the fight is stopped in the book is equally as stupid as Lois Lane. Batman just gets in between Superman and Flash. After Superman was fighting Batman, Batman's just like, hey, stop it, and they both just stop. That's how it stops.
I mean, Batman has a lot of moral authority. He's like, if you're fighting at school and the principal shows up, you'd stop. Even if you were just punching the principal. It's 10 seconds, really.
Just like a bat. I dig it.
Can we talk about Aquaman for a second? Because I fucking love Aquaman.
He's the best part of the movie, dude. His hair's fantastic. His tattoos are amazing. I love it that he just drinks a whole bottle of booze and then throws it into the ocean and then just waits for the ocean to take him. He's everything I want to be as a man.
It's a good scene. And it's so comic booky.
Yeah.
It felt like comic booky in the right way. And I think before I saw this movie, I was worried that Aquaman would just be Aqua Bro the whole time, like frat boy Aquaman, and would have no depth or complexity. But like the fact that he rescues that guy and then drops him in a bar, he clearly gives a shit about that. But then he's like, a bottle of whiskey on that guy's tab. He drinks it, fucking just chucks it.
Yeah.
And like I like to say, he's not Captain Planet. He doesn't give a shit. He doesn't give a fuck about the ocean, pollution. Yep. There's like that global warming thing where he's like, it's better for me, oceans rise, I don't care.
Oceans rise. What's funny is you see his character depth in the stupid lasso thing. Like, they let you see into this guy that's acting like he's really tough, but he's like, we're probably gonna die, and I crushed super hard on her. But he's just acting so cool, and you really know that he's just just a handsome man with a heart of gold.
Well, he's
who
also
lives under
very,
the
he's
sea.
also very tough and has like so many muscles.
How many muscles?
Like 10.
The way that he travels underwater has not gotten any better since the comic book, where he just points his little toesies and then shoots through the water, just on bubbles.
I thought it was kind of cool. It's better than him under there like breaststroke, doggy paddle Aquaman.
I just feel like if he added some type of and then just like occasionally,
Like an
occasional movement that would make it so he could shoot through the water, but he's water flying. So this is the spoiler review, so obviously we're gonna bring up the after credit scenes. There was an awesome sequence with Superman versus Flash in this classic race. They've done it in the animated series, they've done it in the comic books quite a bit. I loved it, seeing it in live action. What did you think?
It was fun. I thought that it was fun that they did a good job kind of setting it up throughout the movie, so it wasn't just this joke that came out of nowhere. Like, they set up that rivalry, and it really worked well. Like, the movie was good at kind of doing arcs like that, even when it was literally just a joke, like the Flash and Cyborg fist bumping each other, where he tries to do it once and he's like, oh nope, not there yet, and then he tries again, but then at the end they finally do it. It was just good at having an arc to these things that were ultimately like basically punchlines.
Yeah, the stuff between Batman and Aquaman, that was really cool, because like they have that little rivalry of like, can you talk to fish? Oh, you're a bat. Like, you know, that stuff
Who's
is
the toughest
really cool.
guy here?
Then Superman shows up and is just like, that was the cold breath, by the way.
No, I got it.
Cold breathing.
I was doing laser eyes. You couldn't know.
So the second post-credit scene was.
Yeah, so I was at like an early screening and they didn't show it, so I don't know what it is. So tell me about it.
I heard left the theater early. Did you hear that? Anyway, what it was Lex Luthor is in a jail cell. You think it's Lex Luthor, goes in, it's actually a cackling old man that I have no idea who it was.
Just unnamed.
Doesn't matter. Unnamed. I mean, he's probably in the credits as a cackling man, but I mean, you know, look that up. Tell us in the comments who that dude was. Anyway, Slade Wilson, Deathstroke, shows up on Lex's yacht. Deathstroke, the character that Deadpool was made as a parody of. Slade Wilson.
Fun fact.
To Wade Wilson, Deadpool parody. Anyway, Lex is like, I think it's time we have a league of our own. So, yeah, in Justice League.
That's exciting, I guess.
It is. I mean, the roster of Injustice League is like literally anyone. So they could put everybody in DC that's bad in there. I mean,
Do you feel like that's a thing that's actually going to happen though?
No, but it literally goes like, well, now who's going to be in it? And they're like, it doesn't matter.
Right, but I mean, like, obviously all this stuff is building up to Darkseid at some point, right?
Right.
And like Suicide Squad was a massive failure.
Well, what it opens it up to be is it going to be Darkseid, or are we going to get just a rogues gallery of dudes just thrown at these guys that they just keep punting away, just like all the comics?
They can do both too, because like they've already split off with like they're very much not doing the Marvel thing of like having one all connected cinematic universe. It's like they're doing like the Joker standalone spin-off that's like not connected and like who knows what else. Are you excited about the possibility of Lex Luthor like being in whatever the next thing is?
Indeed. Ahoy, ahoy! I did not know you were here.
No. Lex Luthor sucks as a character.
Okay.
Jesse Eisenberg is cool.
Yeah, Jesse Eisenberg is cool.
Yeah.
I like him.
He's a cool guy.
Yeah.
He plays the character well. I just feel like that dude versus Superman doesn't ever make sense, has never made any sense.
Well, that's why I liked BVS more than I think most humans on the planet did, but it was like Batman came off the worst in that movie because Lex Luthor's smart plan was to like pit them against each other.
Yeah.
Like action figures.
I'm a mastermind.
Right.
You're annoying.
Which was actually, it was smart, and it was just Batman was dumb for falling for it. But yeah, I think Lex Luthor opens up like because Superman needs to have weaknesses. He needs to have somebody who can
find his
who
weaknesses.
can fuck with him, because I mean, like, he literally, all he had to do was show up in this movie and the fight was over.
Well, yeah, no, a lot of people consider Superman a boring hero because of that. Because he's like the solve everything.
Right, but he has interesting villains, because anybody who could actually
be a villain is no, but they're never good enough. The one time that they were good enough, there was three Kryptonians, and he just beat the crap out of all of them.
I mean, Zod was cool.
Zod was cool, but why is he the strongest when it's like three dudes that are average? Like, it's not like Superman works out. He doesn't work out. He shouldn't have been stronger than.
You literally don't know that.
Easter eggs.
I feel like there's one like big holographic green elephant in the room though, which is that the fucking Green Lantern showed up.
Green Lantern's light.
In that like flashback storytelling scene thing.
Yeah. So the old gods, the Atlanteans. Who else is there?
It's like the Atlanteans, the Amazons, the old gods. So it's like Zeus.
Oh, and Min.
I asked Justice League PR specifically who those characters were, and they confirmed that it is a Green Lantern, not any specific Green Lantern, and Zeus. And Zeus has like the lightning Emperor Palpatine shit going on, and Artemis is Hawkeye. I mean,
she's the Hawkeye of the old gods.
Sure.
So Green Lantern, he dies, or that Green Lantern dies, and his ring goes and shoots off, because you know the Green Lantern rings find the person with the strongest will, and they go to them. So
that is how that works.
That's how that works.
But the exciting thing is that it sets up that Green Lanterns exist in this world. I mean, there was that, I think it was like a Comic-Con teaser that had some voiceover from Steppenwolf where he was like, this world is defenseless, like there's no Kryptonians, there's no lanterns, and everyone was like, ah! And it was like, is Green Lantern gonna be in this movie? And he's like, he kind of is, and like, even just a little bit is like, for Green Lantern fans, it's like, super exciting.
I mean, Green Lantern is in the Justice League in the new 52 comic book, so the fact that he's not here yet is it's interesting.
Ah, green! Wow. I know, right?
Oh, did you notice that the Flash was definitely watching Rick and Morty? I mean, he's like I don't know if you know this, he's very fast. And so he apparently can watch 400 TVs at the same time. But one of those TVs in his room when Batman goes and finds him is playing Rick and Morty, which I don't know if you know, but we're kind of experts.
Stupid mother! Stupid bitch! Stupid mother! How do you like that? How do you like that? Why?
Because sometimes what you really need is for someone else to pay a horrible price.
So, the music. Danny Elfman brought back some themes from 1989 Batman, and I heard them, which is crazy because I never pay attention to music, and it happened, and I went, oh my gosh, that's magical. And then also, the Wonder Woman theme. Yeah.
You don't have to let me do that alone.
Well, I didn't know how to harmonize with it.
Chime in.
You were, I don't know what I was doing. The music was really cool.
There was also, Alfred makes like a penguin reference at some point. He's like, remember when our biggest problem was like exploding penguins?
Penguins, which...
That's not how Alfred sounds.
I wind up penguins, I'm Alfred.
This version of Alfred weirdly is like 8 years older than Batman. Like he's, like, do you feel like Batman is like late 40s in this and Alfred is like early 50s?
Yeah, yeah.
And it's kind of weird.
Did you miss me?
Great speech, Oswald.
My name is not Oswald! It's Penguin!
He says wind up exploding penguins, and you wanna harken back to Batman Returns with all the penguins that have like explosive, weird red and white rockets on their back.
That's what I thought of.
Yeah, those are live penguins that the penguin is going to explode. His plan is to swim them through the sewer or something and explode Gotham. Or something like that. But those are not wind up penguins, so
he blew my mind.
Yeah,
Alfred's getting senile is probably confusing a few things.
I mean, I'm sure there's wind up penguins at some point.
It's very sad. Okay, so there's a Janus/Janus cosmetic signs in Gotham, and that has something to do with Black Mask's origin. And Black Mask, I guess, is supposed to be in Gotham City Sirens, which is
possibly
an upcoming film.
The only Gotham City Sirens stuff that I've seen is like the creepy statues all over people's desks. Just like, yeah, that's a nice looking person on that. Whoa, that's in the workplace. Holy moly.
There's that book coming out, Doomsday Clock, that Batman makes a little reference to. What's he say? Something about a snooze button.
Yeah.
You act like the doomsday clock is a snooze button. I was like, haha, I see what you're doing.
So, stuff from the comic books. Boom tubes, if you know what those are teleportation activated by the mother boxes.
But that's a thing that, like, it was my question when I was watching it. Is like, what is this, like, this big pillar of light? Never explained.
So, the boom tubes come from the mother boxes, and basically a mother box in the comic books is like a alien cell phone that can do anything. It's just a piece of technology. Doesn't have to be a box. Some people have it built into their capes, or they wear them like little, eye watches.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, no, they're awesome, and they can do anything. They can heal things. They can, duplicate technology, or enhance technology, or heal people, or generate energy, or
resurrect Superman,
resurrect
or create
Superman,
Cyborg, or
teleport people with boom tubes,
Gotcha.
which is the Einstein-Rosen bridge, but it's like a hypothesized, way to go through.
Did this just become a Rick and Morty breakdown?
Damn it.
Finally, there is a Darkseid reference. It happens really fast, and I didn't really catch it, but I'm pretty sure Steppenwolf said the word Darkseid.
He definitely says the word Darkseid.
In some context.
Brings it up. But
so that's something.
Steppenwolf is either Darkseid's uncle, or maybe they did a little flip-a-doo and he is
right, because in the books, Steppenwolf is Darkseid's uncle, but
and his closest captain of the Parademon army.
Right,
that
but Darkseid is
controls.
like more powerful than Steppenwolf, and so that there were rumors that they had flip-flopped the relationship, and then it turned out in the movie they just didn't mention it, which is probably the easier solution. Anyway, good job.
If Darkseid isn't more powerful than that Joker, I'm gonna be pretty pissed.
The Joker was in this movie? Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe to Gamespot Universe, give us a like, leave us a comment about how terrible our chemistry is or how cuddly we are. Follow me on Twitter.
Rogue Cheddar, Buddy Hutton, thank you so much for watching. He loves you.
I don't.
He does.
I don't. That's his thing.
He loves you.
I don't care.
I love you.
I don't care about you.